Hello everybody, thanks for joining me here on my autumn video. We're about, 3 weeks into autumn, and I'm seeing some lovely videos. Really nice watching people do their videos because everyone's very animated about autumn because it's just a beautiful season and people are getting out in the woodlands and doing walks and bringing the outdoors in, and I'm really enjoying those sort of videos. But I've been a bit lazy and I'm kind of just sitting here in my bedroom with my cupcake candle and the warm glow of my lamp, so that's going to have to do, I'm afraid. I'm a little late doing my autumn video, and that's really because I wasn't sure what I wanted, and I do seem to be choosing some real random fragrances lately, so I thought, well, I'll step into autumn, see what I'm choosing, and then let you know what I've been picking and what I've been wearing. I've also got a few new fragrances I haven't yet shown on my channel. Got a real mixed bag to show you. I think we're going to just dive straight in. I'm going to start with my fragrance of the day, actually. And I'm in a real violet mood lately. And today I wore Violet in Love by Nicolai. I was just in the mood for something that was easy breezy. It wasn't a particularly cold day. We've had a lot of rain, some real crappy weather. Today was actually quite sunny, and I just was in the mood for something pretty and violety. So Violet in Love, it's got that classic lipstick, but it isn't particularly waxy. It's actually very smooth. It's very light and breezy. It's pretty. It's got a slight fruity touch to give it some lift. But it's got a really interesting quality that makes me think of sesame seeds, but it's coriander. I think it's coriander seeds, something like that. So it's giving you that sort of dry spice. It's not spicy, but it kind of lends itself to something autumny because it's a dry, I think I'm reaching here. Like leaves, like dry leaves. It's giving me that vibe. But it's mostly about the violet. And it's pretty, it's easy, and I was really in the mood for this, and I am enjoying this one an awful lot. So that is Violet in Love. That's my scent of the day. Let's just stay with the violet, the Lolita Lempicka EDP. So this one I've always associated with being like a Halloween fragrance for me. Obviously it's not Halloween just yet, but the moment the autumn sort of kicked in and there was that gorgeous chill in the air, lovely crisp chill, I was suddenly in the mood for this fragrance. It just gives me autumn vibes, it gives me Halloween vibes, but it's got that beautiful rich licorice, violet, iris, there's ivy in here as well. It's deep, it's dark, but it's sweet and it's beautiful and it's lovely for this season. So that is Lolita Lempicka Eau de Parfum. Next up, one of my all-time favourite fragrances ever. I need to do a top 10 fragrance video because I think I'm fairly ready to do that now, and this next one will be very high up in my top 10. So Black Rain by Renier Perfumes is a violet fragrance. It's not violet heavy, it's not known to be a violet fragrance, but as this dries down, you get to the mid, it starts to reveal a really beautiful violet. It's a violet and rose in the mid, opens very sharp, invigorating with leather. And then you've got chamomile and ambergris as it gets further into the dry down, which is calming and addictive and beautiful. And this is the most transitional, changeable fragrance in my collection. It's one I will wear anytime, any month, all year round. It's like poetry in a bottle. And I know it's not for everyone, this one. It just seems to speak to me. Black Rain, sorry to sound cringy, but it is the fragrance of my soul. It's unique. Oh, just absolute true love. Black Rain, Renier. So next up is another violet fragrance, but unfortunately I can't show you a bottle of it because it is only a sample. So here we have Oud Violet Intense. It doesn't say intense, but it is intense, by Fragrance Du Bois. I wanted to see what this one was like based on the violet content. So I grabbed myself a sample from Jervois. Jervois is a fantastic perfume house. It's a French fragrance house, but they also have a store here in London. And they have an amazing range of fragrances, and they are incredibly generous with their samples. They just seem to put so many more samples in with your order. I was hoping not to love it because these are not cheap. When I first tried it, I didn't quite understand the fragrance. There was not really any violet that I could detect. There actually isn't any violet in this as far as Fragrantica goes anyway. Slightly sparkling, uplifting, but there was no distinct scent. This is a grower, this fragrance. You've got showers and you've got growers. This is very much a grower. There's something very addictive and beautiful about this. So what this scent has is elemi, which is that lemon resin that you get from trees. Olibanum, nutmeg, tonka, pepper, and a whole load of other things happening, and oud obviously as well. Like I said, there's no actual violet. It's probably the worst description of a fragrance I've ever done. I can't seem to give you an idea of what this smells like. It's one of these ones that you just have to try. It is a fragrance I would want to wear every day. It's easy for me to wear and beautiful. Because of the price of it, it should be something you wear on occasion. So I don't know if it's worth the money in that sense, but for now, that is on my wish list. So that is Oud Violet Intense by Fragrance du Bois. But let's start running through all of my most recent purchases that I've acquired over the last couple of months. Let's start with this one. So this is by Elizabeth and James. This is their Nirvana line, and this one is called Amethyst. It's actually a tobacco-based fragrance. It's got notes of tobacco, I think honeysuckle and cedar. And what this actually smells like is warm pencil shavings. It's kind of what it smells like to me. But it's really lovely. It's so smooth. It's powdery. It's comforting. I think this probably is my favourite. I've got the bourbon and the black. This is my favourite. This is the one I've been wearing. Actually wearing, whereas the other two I don't even really wear at all. That beautiful packaging that I love in this one, it's like an old-fashioned cigarette case. Really enjoyed this packaging. It's very, very elegant, classy. It's quite gentlemanly, but focus, there we go. Elizabeth and James Nirvana Amethyst. So the next one I've got for you is from the house of Luban, and this is called Kismet. Absolutely beautiful. It's very much likened to Shalimar, Guerlain Shalimar, the Soufflé de Shalimar. It's basically a powdery citrus vanilla. It has a lovely note of vanilla in this. It's also got a popanax. It's got labdanum, bergamot and lemon. There's 2 roses in here, Bulgarian and Rose de May. This just beautiful lemony. I want to keep saying lemon because I don't really like lemony fragrances. It's not, but the brightness comes from the lemon. Powdery resinous scent. It's just got a beautiful powdery, slightly effervescent lift from those citruses. There's something a little bit licoricey in here. Just slightly something giving me this sort of licorice vibe as well. It's not heavy and it's not too rich. It's just a really beautiful, easy reach for any season. But I think it's more alive in the crisp, cold but sunny days. As you can see, it's gone down quite a bit. I have been reaching this an awful lot. And these bottles are just absolutely stunning, aren't they? They feel lovely in the hand. All the caps are the clear marker of what fragrance they are because they're all different coloured. They all have a slightly different grain. I'm sorry about the focus. There you go. There's the focus. Understated, elegant, but stunning. So that is Kismet. That is Kismet by Luban. So about a month ago, I was on a hunt for a really lovely chocolate fragrance. I was in a real chocolatey mood. I wanted something that was really naughty and sweet, like indulging on the most expensive truffles. So I bought this indulgent little number that used to be called Pink Champagne Truffle. It's now Pink Marc de Champagne Truffle. So this is a boozy, chocolatey raspberry truffle. It's straight up. What is weird is that I did sample this about a year and a half ago and it didn't work. It ended up kind of bitter and sour, so I just didn't bother pursuing it because it didn't work for me. Coming back to the sample I had and trying it again, it just seemed to work. Like, why is this? I think my nose just messes around, plays tricks on me, I don't know. Anyway, it is exactly that. It is a boozy, chocolatey raspberry truffle. If you ever had raspberry ruffle chocolates here in the UK, they're just chocolate milk coated sweet with like a dense, fluffy, raspberry flavoured filling. This smells just like how they taste, only with a touch of booze. So this really does hit the spot. It's beautiful gourmand. It's my little sweet treat for when I'm craving something very sweet and chocolatey. So there you go. That is Pink Marc de Champagne Truffle by Panah London. So next up, we've got 2 more new ones which actually haven't worked for me, but I'm still going to feature them because, you know, why not? This is Marc Jacobs Renier. This has been out for quite some time, and I just fell in love with the sound of it, the concept of it, the idea, the design. Rain, that's me all over. I blind bought it because it was very cheap. I think it was something like £20. What this smells like to me is a bubble bath, a fern quality to it, like a really beautiful bubble bath that's got a fern scented bubble bath soap. I get the association with the rain. I get that it's fresh, dewy, you know, that kind of thing, but I don't think this is one I'll ever pull for. This one has made its way into my husband's little mini collection. It's been sitting in his collection for about maybe a month. He hasn't even noticed it's there. It's pleasant and it bulks out his collection somewhat. I just love the bottle though. I love chunky, heavy bottles that have got a coloured juice in them. So anyway, there you go. That's Marc Jacobs Rain. This is the Libre Intense. This is the new Libre fragrance. I had the original Libre. I liked it. I wore it occasionally, not often. And I decided to sell it. I think the Orange Blossom in that original one was a little bit too strong for me. It was just a little bit too intense. I've heard this one, the Orange Blossom, was toned down. There was far more tonka. It's smoother, it's richer in a more elegant kind of way. Let's just open this up, because the bottle, to be honest with you, is even more beautiful than the original. The colour of the liquid obviously is a lot darker, but the bottle has more detailing. This one's got it around the side as well. I love how it looks. I love how classy it is. It's just beautiful. But obviously that's not the important part. The important part is obviously what it smells like. When I first tried it, I liked it. I did. It reminded me a bit of the Good Girl from Carolina Herrera, that kind of more powdery tonka. There's a lot more lavender in this. And like I said, there's that tonka. Now this pulled very musky on me. It's like when I first smell it, I'm getting all that delicious tonka, but sort of halfway through sniffing, it suddenly turns musky, quite cashmerean, very overbearing warmth that cashmerean gives me. And it's not in here, but that's what I'm getting from this. It doesn't work for me. So this is not one I'm going to be keeping, unfortunately. If you love your warming Orange Blossom musky kind of fragrances, this is definitely one to check out. This next one, wow. So this is by Nishane. This is obviously the house that we hear a lot about now on YouTube. It's become very trendy, it's very popular. Jon Snow sent me a sample of this. What I first smelt was a tuberose. It's not a note that I enjoy. I find it smells like hairspray on wet hair, and it can go indolic in the same way that jasmine can make you feel a little bit heady. First time I've ever smelt tuberose and absolutely loved it. Something about this reminds me of Cloud by Ariana Grande. So obviously Nishane do a very good vanilla. This is a vanilla and tuberose. It also has gardenia, so we're talking about white florals here, but it's the tuberose that stands out without hitting you in the face. It's like the star without being a tuberose heavy scent, if that makes any sense. It's as though they've taken a tuberose and made it into a whipped cream, giving it a elegant and smooth base of sandalwood and orris root, and added peach for an extra bit of bounce and sweetness. This was an unexpected purchase. Like I say, I got this amazing sample from Jon Snow, and you'll find Jon mostly on Instagram. That's his home, really, but he has got a channel here on YouTube as well. His Instagram is Scented Snowdrops, and he's very sweet, very generous, and he loves his tuberose. I don't think he was expecting me to fall in love with this fragrance, so I think I've surprised myself with this one. Looking at the notes, I was expecting to find a whipped cream note or something really sweet, like, I don't know, caramel or marshmallow or something. But it just goes to show how delicious the vanilla is in here, because that's really all you're getting in terms of that creamy sweetness, is this beautiful, beautiful vanilla. But whatever it is, it's absolutely delicious. And this has become a new love, a new favourite, a top 10 for sure. It's a happy little scent. It's a good mood scent. I don't know, I think Cloud's kind of getting a bit of dust, unfortunately. I still love Cloud, but this is like the grown-up version of Cloud. It's the mature, more elegant version of Cloud. I got this via a really great guy on Instagram. He has a page there. He's able to get amazing fragrances at a great price. Gets tons of different brands, lots of niche brands, obviously including Nishane. PDM_sales, I think. I'll put it on the screen for you. Obviously this is the reason I was able to get hold of a 100ml bottle of this. I've been hitting the vanillas really hard so far this autumn, and there are others that I'm still looking forward to wearing. So let's just run through my vanillas that I've been wearing, all my favourite ones. So first up we have Whispers in the Library, one of my favourites. Very elegant, it's very simple, there aren't many notes in here. It's a woody, creamy vanilla. The woods is stunning in this. I think there's ebony, but it's a deep, beautiful, smooth wood that's slightly peppered. Good quality vanilla, very straightforward, very simple. Doesn't really smell like books. I think that was what they were going for. It smells more like a library. There's more wood than pages. It's so pretty and charming. It's a really beautiful one from the replica line. So it's Maison Margiela, that's Whispers in the Library. The next vanilla is much more edgy, I would say. This is a Tom Ford's Vanille Fatale, and this one is much stronger, it's much richer than Whispers in the Library. It's denser, you know, it's a thicker scent, but it reminds me of a custard tart that's antiqued. It's like an antique wood mixed with a really sweet vanilla, which sounds like this, but it's not. This one's muskier, it's richer, it's just heavier, and it has much more of a grown-up feel to it. It has a sort of gentlemanly A gentleman smoking a cigar feel to it somehow. Very grown-up vanilla. Another fragrance that I adore for this time of the year, so that is Vanille Fatale. So this is La Belle, and this is the one that's pear and vanilla. And there's a question mark over the third note. Now, it's always listed as vetiver, but Claire from Smurfy Girly found out that it's actually something else, and I've gone blank on what that actually is. So we're going to say vetiver for now. I'm not sure exactly what the third note is. It's actually really red juice, but it doesn't look very red on here. So this is just an addictive, very, very, very sweet vanilla-based fragrance with that juicy pear crumble. There's something very gourmand in here. It's very sweet, very custard-like, and it's Jean Paul DNA. It's super sexy, it's super sweet, and it is a gorgeous one for this season for sure. It's very warming, it's very cozy, but bright, sweet, and sexy. So that is La Belle. Another of my favourite vanillas is by Montale. This is Intense Cafe. Very similar to Mancera's Roses Vanille. But this one is coffee, vanilla, and rose. The rose is so beautiful in here. It's such a gorgeous rose. But it's toned down with that vanilla. It's very sweet. It's very elegant. The coffee makes it delicious and quite inviting. It's stunning. It's one of my favourites, one of my favourite fragrances for sure. Again, a stunning one for this season. So that is Intense Cafe. Another delicious fragrance here, or Delicieuse. It's Feve Delicieuse. This is a gorgeous tonka, vanilla, almond, cherry style fragrance. It's very powdery. This is another grower. This is one that the more I wear it, the more I get it. It's like an understated, boozy, powdery gourmand. It doesn't have a lot of punch. It's not beastly or anything, but it's very elegant. And when I wear this, I feel like I need to straighten up a little bit. You know, I need to sort of fix my hair a bit and look a bit classier. It has a really elegant, understated, velvety feel to it. It's a real easy reach for this season. It's soft, but it's very sophisticated. So Feve Delicieuse. So next up is Rose's Berberanza. And think about this when it was warmer. You couldn't even think of wearing this. It's so beastly, it's so projecting. It is a monster of a sweet rose fragrance. But now it's cooler. It just is the perfect one to wear when you're going out. It's more for weekends. Like I've worn this a couple of times now on the weekends and meeting family. So beautiful. It's like a thick rose liquor. Yeah, like a boozy liquor made of rose, made of beautiful roses, sweet tropical fruits, but mostly rose. It's so rich and decadent, and it showcases the rose in such a unique way. The pistachio gives it a kind of strange but addictive quality. So that is what I've been enjoying. Right, we're almost there, guys. Sorry. I'm sorry it's so long. So I went to Hampton Court recently with my family. My mum and my sister had a really lovely day. It was a lovely, lovely day. Good weather. I don't know why do us Brits always talk about the weather? I don't know. I did to go for a rose fragrance. I'm going to Hampton Court. It is Henry VIII. It's Tudor. It's all about the Tudor rose, isn't it? Well, for the most part, anyway. So Tobacco Rose was my choice, my rose choice for the day, and it's by Papillon Artisan Perfumes. So this is a tobacco rose, but it doesn't actually contain a note of tobacco. So the idea of tobacco is kind of coming through with notes like moss and patchouli and Peru balsam. There's a beautiful dewy red rose in here, and it's wrapped up with this sort of dry and earthy mosses of sweetness from a bit of honey. The notes in here are very natural, organic smelling. So it does make this fragrance a very timeless kind of fragrance. It's one that you could imagine smelling back in medieval times. The mosses and that sort of hay-like quality in here, and of course the rose. And wearing this fragrance to Hampton Court, it really enhanced the experience. That's an amazing association to have, this fragrance. And I kind of think of it as my Tudor rose now. So there, that is Tobacco Rose by Papillon Artisan Perfume. So the next one, we're nearly there. The next one is Burnt Cedar Rainbow Doves by 4160 Tuesdays. This has some very sentimental associations. So it's one that is very special to me. But it also has great associations with bonfires. You know, bonfire night, which is of course November the 5th. It's not your typical bonfire smoke smell. It's not like By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela. It has more like a lacquer, resin, varnish, smoky scent to it. It's very, very unusual. But there's a beautiful sugared almond accord in here, which gives it this beautiful balance of sweetness. And it's more smoky and resinous than it is sweet. A very addictive sniffer, if you like. It's quite a thick scent, you know, like a thick oil with the sweetness of almond. That is Burnt Cedar Rainbow Doves. Right guys, we are almost there. Thank you for sticking around this long if you're still here. I'm going to now leave you with something rather special. With my last fragrance I'm going to mention, I'm going to grace this video with Grace Deorient by Angelos Creative Olfactives. And this is a fragrance house that Claire from Smurfy Girly has talked about on her channel. And she is the reason I now have this very empty sample that I have sniffed as much as I can sniff out of it. Please check out Claire's reviews of this because she goes into a lot more depth. This is quite a new house created by Angelos, and he's inspired by vintage Guerlains, vintage Carons, those sort of old school sort of scents, but he's making them with more like a modern twist. I had no idea Claire was sending me this, so it was a lovely surprise to find this in the post and give it a good sniff after all the things that she said about it. I fell in love with it instantly. I haven't got much experience with vintage fragrances. Vintage fragrances I have smelled, whenever that was. It's allowing me to appreciate what this is doing. It's like Angelos has taken all the best parts of a vintage fragrance, all the smoothest, richest, most appealing elements, and created that as one fragrance. Buttery, woody, stunning, warm, elegant fragrance. There's spicy carnation in here, there's clove oil, there's jasmine absolute, we've got orris butter, vanilla absolute, labdanum, rich, warming, quality ingredients. Labdanum is like a silky brown resin, and what I love about this is the clove oil, this warm sweet spice, very much in keeping with this flow of other notes. So that is Grace Deorient. Rich, deep, slightly powdery, warming, buttery. It's got an abundance of charm and depth, and it is very much on my wish list. That is Grace Deorient. It's the end of the video, guys. My goodness, I never thought it'd be so long. So that represents my autumn fragrance wardrobe. So lots of vanillas, lots of gourmands, lots of beautiful fragrances. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Have an awesome autumn, and I shall see you soon on my next one. Take care, guys. Over and out.